Hi everyone. Thanks again for joining this morning or afternoon wherever you are. Um, we are RSID. I'm Jacob Varga, in sales here at RSID. We're going to be talking about iris recognition technology and a biometrics overview. With us we have Regional Manager Hasram Radley and VP Mohammed Murad. You just heard of Global Business and Sales. So we'll be taking you through. Um, just want to go ahead and get it started here. Let me see. Okay, here we have the agenda. We're just going to take you through the overview of Iris ID, the history, some of the what brought our corporation into fruition, some of the biometric technologies that are out there today, the different modalities that are being used, what's the most popular, and how some of them differentiate from each other. Then we'll go into Iris ID presence and customer base, ranging from small to medium-sized business to the largest enterprise customers in the world. Some of the biggest blue chip names. So we'll get into that, as well as a product overview. We're excited to show everyone and touch on that. And we have a Q&A session afterward, where feel free to either ask any questions in the chat, or we'll have some time dedicated. That way you guys can open up your mics and ask any questions that you may have. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started here. So just a corporate overview of Iris ID here. CEO is our Charles Koo. It was established U.S. based in 2002. A spinoff was created from LG to Iris ID Systems in 2010. So you do see sometimes that formerly LG mark, but we are carrying it onto Iris ID Systems in 2010. But that's okay. That mark can stay with us. We're proud of that. GBU is IRT experience rich in technology, in marketing and sales, in support and service. So we have employees in New Jersey, in Boston, Seoul, South Korea, Bangalore, and some satellite offices in Malaysia, Mexico, and we have Hasram here from Malaysia and Dubai as well. So our business is a total biometric solution, and we'll be getting into all the facets right here in the next slide, the main areas of our business. So let me take you through that here. So Iris ID business areas include large-scale ID systems, workforce management, and access control. In the space of identification, you have large-scale national ID projects, mid to small-scale civil projects, government public institutions, and then in access control, passport visa system, border crossing, physical access control, government, corporate, hospitals, some of the largest airports, and also harbor control. For time and attendance, we'll be looking at that also. Exact time and attendance record, so no buddy punching errors. It's high throughput and very scalable. Also in government and corporate, construction sites, and with RFID as well. So those are the main areas of the RSID business here: identification, access control, and time and attendance. But as you can see, we break that down into the vertical markets here. So next, just getting into why biometrics, unlike other forms of authentication such as passwords or tokens, biometric recognition provides a strong link between an individual and a data record. One area where biometrics provide the biggest benefit is in guarding against attempts to fraudulently establish identities. Um, so, biometrics is a way to secure, uh, patient data. It's a way to um, secure employee time and attendance. So according to the FBI Cyber Division, Private Industry Notification, the FBI urged organizations to consider using additional or more complex forms of multi-factor authentication for users and administrators, such as biometrics or behavioral authentication methods. Through this, add inconvenience for these users. Today we actually had an NSA webinar with Justice Clearinghouse. We had many officers from Federal Law Division, such as the Border Patrol, and we were sadly the FBI could not make that discussion, but we plan on hosting many other webinars on that subject. So biometrics, we feel, is going to play a very important part in government and commercial industries. So that's just a little bit about why biometrics. And then we're gonna just look here quickly at the different types of biometrics. You can see the physiological iris, which is what Iris ID. That's our specialty, but we also take a multimodal approach with the fingerprint and iris. We include that. Fingerprint and face, rather, we include those in our solution. But other physiological characteristics, less popular but still around, ear recognition, vein print, and then DNA, which may be the most accurate but can take the longest to collect. And then we have some behavioral biometrics down below. Voice we see is becoming more popular, and signature also. And then there's also gait. But as far as we know, the most popular biometric technologies remain to be the finger, the face, and the iris, which we think is trending in the right direction. So that's a good thing to see. And then next, we'll touch on the more technical or granular, if you will, of details of the iris recognition solution and what goes into that, and what are the main components. So here we have, this is the iris. The iris is not the retina. It's the donut shape of the eye. Everything there except the black pupil, that is the iris. So you can see here the blue line, and the retina here is inside. So iris recognition technology is different from a retina scan. With iris technology, it's the same as taking pictures as you would with a digital camera. So absolutely, there's no need to worry about eye safety or the intrusiveness that would be posed with retina. So here I just want to highlight some of the main advantages or benefits of iris recognition technology. Positive identification, it remains stable throughout one's life after 12 months rather of age. The iris pattern is unique, and the left and right iris are different, even in twins. Of course, the irides are not the same. So it is also the most accurate of the biometric technologies. Two individuals having the same iris pattern are 1 to the power of 72. So this would make that the most accurate biometric technology commercially available today. Its rapid speed of throughput, one-to-end recognition in tens of millions of databases in less than 2 seconds. Once again, it's non-invasive. Iris recognition is a non-contact and non-invasive, which means it's safe from any harmful contamination among people. So that's very important, especially in the era of COVID-19. Want to make sure that you're using a non-contact solution, highly scalable again, and best of breed countermeasures. RSID has higher standard of biometric security solution. Iris Access has perfect countermeasure solution for filtering video and fake eye detection and intrusion. So those are the main benefits of the iris recognition technology that you stand with Iris ID. Let's talk about where iris works, where other biometrics don't. So up at the top, hazmats and rough and tough, dirty jobs, construction sites, even hospitals, where people are practically geared up and don't have, they have personal protective equipment, so it covers their face with their hands, gloves. So fingerprint is not really ideal. So this is why iris is a natural choice as an identification credential. Below the picture, the niqab. Forgive me if I don't pronounce that right, but that's just another example of where iris can be used, where maybe facial would have problems. Fingerprint, once again, need to be careful, but with iris works where other biometrics do not. And these are a couple of pictures here that show you. Here's a damaged hand and a glove, and this one is due to grease. So there's many different factors where iris would work, where other biometrics such as face or fingerprint, the other physiological biometrics would not work the same way iris would. So, once again, iris biometrics are best of breed. It's an extremely small outlier population. Physical variances have a very low impact. We talked about, the age in the iris remains stable, practically throughout 12 months of age all the way through 99 years. So that's a one-time lasting enrollment. You can perform one-to-N identification and one-to-one verification, so single or two-factor mode, and it has a very low false accept ratio, and as well as a very low false reject ratio. And here here you can see the table, the odds of a false match, to what degree that is, as well as the boundaries in order to segment the iris in order for matching. So, just to go into that a little bit further, how iris recognition works. The iris image is digitalized and analyzed by software. The iris boundaries are determined and the iris information is extracted. From the iris information gathered, a 512-byte iris code is created and stored. It matches the code to all iris codes in the database, and then it either from there it authenticates or ejects an individual. So pretty basic guide of either access control, time and attendance, ID applications. This is what happens when iris recognition is in action and working. It segments the eye and extracts the code and then matches against all the other codes in the database. And just to further go off on that point, the richness of iris data is in more degrees of freedom than any other biometrics. You can see hand has the lowest degrees of freedom or minutia points, followed by face, and then finger has more, and then iris has the most degrees of freedom and or minutia points. So equality enrollment even mitigates need for perfect live presence. So here on the left top, you can see an example of a quality enrollment image, and then later on, even with the half eye closed, it is still successfully recognized. So below here, here is a picture of the human iris. Here is the iris image, the infrared image, and then this is the segmentation finally when the matching is done. And I just want to look quickly, see if there are any questions. Okay, this is just Nedo. Alrighty, no questions. And then we're just going to touch on the case studies here next. We in data center security, airport access, building control, health clubs, as well as the world's largest physics laboratory. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure if any of you have heard of that, but we'll get into that as well. So Iris ID products have been deployed in Google Data Center Security as a big blue chip customer since 2009. Legacy products have been installed there all the way from Iris Access 4000 up to the 7000. Iris Access solutions are provided to all their Google data centers, so this includes data centers in the United States, in Asia, Europe, parts of the EU. So across all their data centers, they are using Iris ID technology, and they've integrated with multiple access control systems on an enterprise level. And then another data center where Iris ID technology can be found is Apple. We all know Apple. Practically everyone has an Apple phone. These Iris cameras are featured at their or installed at their headquarters and Securities Operations Center. Also deployed since 2009. Maybe they had a conversation going with each other, Apple and Google, but integrated with their existing access control systems as well. So that's a big part of gaining the trust of these enterprise systems, is to be able to integrate our legacy products into those, and build long-lasting solutions that will be deployed across their whole entire network. So here we have another example, as this is transportation security. The Canadian Air Transport Security Authority, CATSA, 40 plus airports across Canada, over 180,000 to 200 participating employees. The number could be even higher now. However, with COVID, maybe some staff layoffs, but employees carry their Iris template on a secure smart card, and once again, integration with existing airport security systems. Just another highlight, Iris ID continues to integrate with existing security systems to fit the needs of a variety of applications and in verticals. So this is a deployment that we are very proud of and excited to share with everyone, especially our partners. So and here we have a video should play for you. This is health clubs, and the video you see here is of world-class Iceland. It's in Iceland, and they've been using Iris ID products for over 20 years. They're one of Iris ID's longest customers. There's multiple locations throughout Iceland. They're open 24/7, 365 days a year, and the real benefit here for them installing the system is there's no need for them to put an employee or an attendant there to check people in, there's a big reduction in cost, and overall, members do not need to carry ID cards on them. Their ID, they can even make cash payments, not cash payments, payments using their iris in substitution for cash if they're enrolled in the system, which all gym members must be. And then below, also going on Equinox Health Clubs here in the United States, from New York City to Hollywood, California. VIP members gain access to the most exclusive private clubs. Members don't need to carry cards or remember a PIN. Members can access over 15 clubs via recognition. So if you have your membership at a club in New York, you can go to Hollywood, California, and you can also use the spa there. So it's used for amenities and VIP access, like as I mentioned earlier. So. And here is the physics laboratory I alluded to in my earlier slide. CERN, the Hadron Collider. This is a really, really unique facility and organization. It's a European organization for nuclear research. Don't know if any of you have ever heard of the God particle. This is where they're exploring that or working on that. So for CERN, we have deployed an enterprise access control application all the way through the Iris Access 3000 up to now the 7000. So it's deployed on 40 access shafts, protecting particle accelerators and detectors. Thousands of researchers from countries all throughout the world come here to work. So it's a very exciting place. We're glad to have our technology in such a cutting edge environment. And lastly, here we have workforce management and access control. Here we have Dango Cement. On the right-hand side, we can see the country of Africa on the right-hand-most side. They have a strong presence in Nigeria and Ghana is Dangote. They are the largest multinational cement conglomerate in Africa, employing over 30,000 people, and they are using our ICAM 7S series, the 711S-T, for time and attendance, and as well as the ICAM R100 for asset tracking and delivery by cement truck drivers. So we are going to be talking about another time and attendance solution that will really be exciting, and we're excited to share that with you. So, but stay tuned for that. And then here we have Iris ID presence. You can see it's getting very, very crowded, scattered throughout the world. Actually, we need to be adding to this map, or there's dots that we could add to this map. I think it's a little underrepresented, but certainly you can see here almost in every single nook and crevice of the world. Not in Antarctica, no, but pretty much you can find us Iris ID products or our supply chains in these areas from North America to the farthest reaches of Asia. So another thing that we wanted to convey to you guys today, guys and gals. So just wanted to. We have a question. Okay, nope. Here is the Iris ID based commercial market. in the space of asset protection and data center security, we have the coveted New York Stock Exchange. We talked about Apple, Citibank, and data centers for Citibank, Google again, Oracle, TD Financial Group, Honda, Merrill Lynch. They're all using Iris Access solutions in the space of asset protection, data center security. Very, very close to today's times. Lab security and biohazard containment important in today's global climate. The CDC, Harvard Medical School, Boeing, Boston Medical, mentioned CERN earlier, American Cross, and a few others. And then in infrastructure protection, Ameren, Citgo for workforce management, Dangote, Union Pacific Railroad, the World Trade Center. They had been using the ICAM 4000, and they were using that for employee workforce management. And then also in the space of hotel clubs and POS retails, Equinox we mentioned earlier, the Goddard School, it's a private young school education, and Procter and Gamble as well, and 90 Hotel, so and many other hotels, the Millennium Hotel as well. So then we're going to get into the government space. Not only in the commercial space are we present Iris ID heavily, but the government market as well. For transportation security, Clear, very big company. We love what they're doing. Recently, they just made a push to contactless for all their sign-on. So that's good. And Amsterdam Airport Schiphol, we have the Premium program there. I mentioned CATSA earlier, the Canadian Airport Transportation Security Authority, and down below is Albany Airport, one of the first airports to install iris recognition in the country. So there's some history there for you. And then government and public safety. These are the agencies. This is the executive branch here. And then Canada also as well. So the United States, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Border Patrol, Pentagon, and then the NSA, the National Security Agency, and National Sheriff's Association. So I could go on and on. Our presence in the government and public safety market. And then, for civil identity, the ADHAR program, Iris ID was involved in the inception of that, and Nexus Air, Canadian Border, the state of Qatar, United States Embassy, and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So lots of programs and operations in transportation security, government, and civil identity, civil ID. And here we're going to touch on a product overview, a current product overview. So again, I was mentioning iris, face, and fingerprint as the most popular modalities, and here we are representative of that. On the leftmost side, you can see the ICAM M300, a multimodal biometric PDA. It's Android, and it also can connect fingerprint fingerprint MRZ stripe, or FAP45, FAP50 IB sensors. So you can extend the mobility of your access control environment, all in the touch of your hands. And then, of course, our ICAM 7S series here our mainstay product. We have long distance iris here, the D1000 modules for the long distance modules to be put in kiosks, and then mobile ID, more mobile ID solutions, rugged solutions, and just mobilized the ICAM TD100A. And then also another product we'll be getting into as well. Let me see here. Iris time here.
In this virus, COVID-19 virus pandemic situations, the requirement for contactless biometrics today is getting a lot of attentions and requirement from many customers from all sectors, like all that has been mentioned by Jacob before. And you will notice also there's quite a number of national level projects, especially in the identification documents that now is requiring iris recognition. So this is something that very interesting right now. And as we mentioned also that we are involved in all across the board of the technology for all sectors. And today, in the same line also, we are improving our solution for both, for all sectors, in the private and in the public sector. One of our latest product is for more focus on the time attendance solutions, which is already a very big sector for us. And we have developed this special product, Iris Time, specifically to cater for this market. But of course, this solution also can and it could be applied to any other type of markets depending on what's the requirement. So Jacob, do you want me to do the Iris Time presentation, or is it going to be Mohammed?
Yeah, if you'd like to touch on that, that'd be great. Or I've given you the controls.
Okay.
Just thought you might want to touch on this new product. It's very exciting, and you've heard enough of me already.
Before that, anybody has any questions on the overall presentation about Iris ID so far? Anybody can hear me?
I don't see any questions, Hassan.
Yeah, but anybody listening?
What?
Okay.
We have a question here. No questions. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm in control, Jacob, or what?
Yes.
That me or? Okay.
Should be. Yep.
I'll do it. Okay. So Iris Time is our latest solution, and it's we design it as a what we call time clock for the modern workforce. Okay. Basically, these two parts of it. One is the hardware, which is the IT100, and the second part is the software backing it, which is the ITMS, which is the Iris Time Management Service. Okay. So first of all, the hardware is our new device, what we call IT100. This is an Android based device. Okay, so this looks like a very modern piece of device, very clean design, and it has a 7-inch LCD touchscreen. And then it's we designed it to be fully customizable, and also for application development, we offer a custom third-party application support and the SDK, and also it's will be using the REST API platform for anybody that interested to develop on it with their own backend solution. Anyway, okay, the device IT100 will feature both iris and facial recognition. Okay, so with this we can offer quite a number of options to use, whether you want to use iris and face fusion, or iris or face, or both together. So this kind of flexibility will give you a lot of flexibility for handling many requirements of the customer, especially at this present time that you have the issue with wearing face masks and all this. Okay, so you might have to choose the correct method of or the preferred method of identification. And once that's why we offer it to have all this flexibility to do multiple type of verification. Okay, the device will do all the enrollment and identification on the device itself. And one of our well-known function is the auto face detection, auto tilt of the cameras. So it will give you the flexibility to set it up with different heights, so you can cover a more diverse range of heights. So you can fit it in almost all the places or required placement for it. Okay? And the working distance is up to 55 centimeter. We will have a video. I think you guys know about it before. And with the like I mentioned, the auto capture, we have a flexible range up to 30 degrees. Okay. And of course, it includes our countermeasure for fake iris, and also the encryption. Okay, so this is the device that specifically designed for this market, and it should be competitive with all the available technology out there currently. So the second part is the ITMS, which is what we call Iris Time Management Service. This is the software that will connect to the IT100, which is at the front. This is the back end. So ITMS is a device management. It's a browser-based application, and it supports Windows, Mac, and also Linux. And we will use this to configure and manage the IT100 devices when we deploy it. It's using REST APIs. Okay, so the ITMS have features in it. We will explain in details later. And some of it, like when you install it, you will be able to manage multiple units of the IT100. Okay. We have functions to auto discover the device on the network, and we can also configure or activate or deactivate the device from this backend, and we will also be able to what you call push all the biometrics and biographic data that we enroll to all devices are connected to ITMS. Okay, and what it's more important that the ITMS features can also be integrated into any custom application utilizing REST API. Okay, so if you want to develop your backend custom application, especially as we know from the market of time and attendance, they have multi. Each customer has their own preference or solutions that they want to do with their time attendance, so you can customize it. Okay. So let me just go through and then we will go through if you have any questions. So ITMS, this is the when you log in into the ITMS, you will see this dashboard. Basically, the dashboard will show, as you can see, all the users, the numbers of users and devices that's connected to, throughout the system that you deploy, okay, and the transactions and all this, and also all the recent activities. So this is the main dashboard that basically will show the all the devices and the activities is connected to the system. Okay. So rest of this is basically all the functionalities that are available in the ITMS. We also, as this is a new device and new solution, we will be improving it from time to time, and we also would like to hear if there is any comments or anything from our partners. Okay. So it's quite slow. So this is all the screenshots that we have for.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. The ITMS solution, we have also the user tab. So as you can see from on the left side of the screenshots, so you have dashboard, devices, users, monitoring, and all the settings. So everything you can see on this is about managing and controlling the system, and connected to your front end. Okay. So for example, here you have you can see all the you can monitor all the transactions in the device. Okay. You have all the transaction logs. Okay. And you can also select which data you want to see. I don't know whether you can see it clearly, but you have all the timestamp and the device name, all the user ID names, and this one you can customize, getting to what all the available fields that you can see. Okay, so yeah, before we go that to the video, do you have any questions on this? Anybody have any questions on this? So basically, this ITMS is the software that you use to manage the IT100 device, and from there you can also customize it and also integrate it with your own or any other solutions, especially if there is another time maintenance solutions that you want to use for specific customer. Okay. Any questions so far?
We do have a couple questions below.
Okay, yeah, I saw that question. Life of this model. Okay. Okay, first of all, this is a brand new device that we have just introduced this year. Okay, so of course, it's designed with some specific, what you call it, lifetime that we want it to be. But as you can see, we have not yet deployed it. Of course, we've got some purchases already, but not been in any live system yet. So we cannot really say how long or what is the life. Of course, we want it to be a long life product. So first of all, it is designed for indoor environment. Okay, and if you ask me for how long it can work in indoor environment, I can. I mean, this is like as you can see, it looks like a tablet. You know, we use basically same concept as a tablet, but we built in at the back the boards for it to operate, you know, directly with all the connections. So it depends on where you install it. Okay, but for outdoor, of course, this is not certified for truly outdoor environment. You have to put it into some kind of weather enclosure. Okay, this can be customized, and we can also advise it. As you know, our what you call it strength is the iris recognition, that you can go through even what you call it. We can put it in the closed enclosure because we can use it through plexiglass or through glass, clear glass. You know, so in case you want to put in outdoor, you can actually put it in a full enclosure, as long as it's clear that clear face, you know, so you can use it directly inside from inside the enclosure. Okay. In terms of what we have not designed anything yet for the outdoor enclosure, but this is part of our development. All this, unlike our previous device, for example, the ITMS 7s, we have quite a number of options or accessories for it to be put outside, you know. But this one, for you to put in outside, you have to be creative with what kind of enclosure that you want to do. In terms of, I think we have Jacob. Do we have the more detailed specification, because they're asking about the temperature? Shouldn't be an issue to work. You're talking about 50 to 55 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit? Anyway, I know it looks like a Celsius, which is
shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I'm looking up the exact specs here.
Yeah. It shouldn't be an issue, you know. But like I said, this is not designed as you know, something that you can just put out there in the sun and in the rain, you know. So our advice is that you use it with an enclosure, and we can work with you on how to design this kind of enclosure. Any other question? Okay. This is a video of our partner. Then can we run this video?
Yep, sure.
Is it okay, Jacob?
Something happen? No.
Okay. So as you can see, this is the device in action, and this is some kind of test that we did with different type of coverings and face masks, headgears, you know, facial hairs, facial features. So that shows, you see the auto capture and tilt a solution for us. Okay, I'll just run it one more time. Yeah. Sorry. You see also that the height difference of the user, you know, and because of the auto tilt function, you know, we shouldn't have any issues, and you can just capture at all these heights, you know. So we have quite a range of heights that can easily use it. Okay. Like I mentioned also, the solution involve, you know, we can offer different method of identification using the face and the of course, iris. Okay, so in a case where people are wearing, for example, face mask or hijab, or you know, these face coverings and everything, you know, where the facial recognition does not work, you know, so you can apply the iris only solution. And we can also in the device you can also determine, you know, a specific type of identification for each user, you know, so it can be tailored for each user. For example, there's a user that if you want to, for example, for high security, you want to implement everybody must show face and their iris, so it will be face and iris, which is the highest setup, security setup. But in certain cases, you know, like I said, there are women wearing full face hijab, and obviously there are some exception for this, and you can specifically tailor it for them to just use the iris. This is the kind of solution that we offer. Okay. On the question on can we upgrade the user memory of IT100, at this point, no, we won't allow you to upgrade anything of the hardware in the device. But so there's no what you call it additional, you like you know, where you can insert any additional memory cards or whatsoever. Okay, but in case of any if you have any specific requirement regarding the user memory, you know, if you have any specific size you want to look at, we can look and explore this, discuss this. Okay, but no, you cannot just go and upgrade it, and it comes with a fixed memory. But as I said, this is a newly developed device. Okay, and we will go along with the technology. You know, of course, we will have improvements in the future for the device. And along with the technology improvement, of course, the size of memory and everything can be upgraded in the later version of this device. Okay. Yes, you okay for one eye damage. Okay, for iris, of course, normally we will do the dual iris, both iris, but there's no problem to identify just one eye. Okay, but in the case when they are enrolled first with two eyes, and then they mesh. Okay, first if they start with one eye, shouldn't be any issue as long as we get a good what you call it image of that one eye. But if they start with two eyes and then damage one of it, and because of the what you call it the algorithm before, you know, for their matchings, it can be affected, but it shouldn't be an issue because we can just mesh on the one eye. Okay. of course, we can use it for anybody with, as long as they got an eye for it. But okay, just to mention also that we have a countermeasure where you know that people are using people with only one eye. Sometimes they're using their a fake eye, which has like almost like a real iris and all this. We have to look at the whole situation. If you have this kind of this, whether sometimes people are wearing whether they're wearing the eyes all the time or they are taking it out in certain situations. Okay, so in that kind of situation, we have to tune how for each individual what kind of matching that because our countermeasure won't recognize the fake iris. Okay. So if you can see also in the answer by Muhammad in the chat, the MTBF is already designed for more than 7 years. Okay, our existing devices have been around for quite a long time, and we have a very good what you call a track record in terms of the life of our devices. Okay, for example, even some customers are still using an old device of ours that has lasted for more than 10 years. And of course, we keep this same kind of a quality when we are building our devices. Okay. Some of the installation has been there for more than 10 years and is still working very well. This is our previous device, so of course when we design the new one, we will strive to maintain the same kind of quality of devices. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Is there anything else? Yeah. Anything else you want me to show or present on the IT 100?
Any other questions, anybody?
At this point, as I mentioned, a lot of our partners also around the region is very interested into developing a customized solution together with their own time attendance solution. So a lot of inquiries is about using the REST APIs for the further enhancements of the solution that they can offer to their customers. Okay, so I would really like for people to also explore this because this is a very powerful and flexible device, and it can be adapted into a whole range of situations. For your information also, the device is also capable to be used as a what you call it access control, but at this point this is offered as the time attendance solution. In the future, we will upgrade the device and we'll make it more hardened, to be used as a potential solution for small scale time attendance, access control solution. Okay, if you're talking about competing brands, first of all, today, if you look at in the market, okay, there are probably maybe one or two competitors with almost a similar Android-based device. But first of all, like I mentioned, the beauty of this device, we have designed it from the ground up as something that you can develop on, you know. So with the IT100 as the front end and the ITMS, we also can offer you a much deeper what you call development package, where you can even develop your own Android application to be installed onto the device. But this has to go through our what you call it certification first. We have to make sure that the APK is hardened enough and good enough to be used on our device. But you can do it. I mean, you can develop your own APK Android applications and load it into the device. So this is to cater for very specific requirement. All this. So at this point, this is the very big distinguishing factor between other devices, because those other devices won't allow you to do this kind of development. Okay. And of course, if you want to do that, you can also use our REST API platform to further integrate and develop on it. Okay, which is very what you call it interesting and factor that you can consider to complement your solution. The other points, of course, our iris recognition solution is very well known for its accuracy and capabilities, especially in the countermeasure, where you can detect fake eyes. A lot of our competitors fail to compete with us in this what you call features of countermeasures, where you can distinguish between real or fake eyes. Okay, so a few competitors we did some proof of concept and we did a test, and they couldn't what you call it detect a fake iris, like I mentioned, the one that they used by if you see, there are some people using the fake stone eyes, or even the one in certain high-end dolls and all this, you know. So this is one of our biggest advantage against competitors, and this is also the reason why you can see our technology is used in all these high security places that Jacob has mentioned earlier. All these places like Google, or all these very secure places, have their own security standards. Then they have their own testing, and there's a reason why we are picked by them for that. Okay. And of course, like I said, also this is the device. We are looking at a very good price point, and the advantage for that is that, of course, you can immediately compete in this market against competing brands. We can discuss on all this pricing strategy for that, but I think the price that we offer to partners today is a very competitive price, and that is something that will really help you in providing these solutions against competitors. Okay. Mentioned in previous screen. Okay. Are you, Jalis, your question is, are you referring to the IT100 or our overall solution? Because of course, in our overall solution, like for the ICAM 7s and all this thing, you can use the device with a card. Okay. Currently, this IT100, we don't have a card reader yet for it. But for example, our ICAM 7s, we have a version that have a card reader, so you can actually do a one-to-one matching with iris embedded into the card. Okay, but of course it depends. There's so many ways for you to do the verification. We can store it inside the device itself, or we can store the iris at the backend solution, or you can store it on the card itself. So when you do the one-to-one matching with the device, you will read the iris from the card and compare it to the live iris of the person. So this is especially if you have a very large what you call it number of user, you know. For example, if you put it on a national ID kind of cards, you know, where there are millions of the users, and then you can actually match this. But at this point, for especially for IT100, no, it's we don't have a card reader yet built. This coming, we are going to provide accessories for IT100 with a card reader for it, so you can do the same thing. And also, because I want to mention the iris template is very small. Okay, so it can be easily embedded into a smart card. Okay, the size of our template is one iris is only half kilobyte, so both iris is only 1 kilobyte. Okay, so that can easily be you know, encoded into any kind of smart card. Okay, questions about the contact lens. Okay. Okay, contact lens. Okay, the situation is this. Okay, as long as it's a clear contact lens, it shouldn't be any issue. Okay, the system will accept, will go through any kind of lens. Like I said, you can even use it behind a clear glass or plexiglass, you know. But if the contact lens has any kind of patterns on it, it can and it will interfere with the matching, because we are reading the patterns of the iris. So if these patterns on the contact lens somehow you know, cover these patterns on the your iris, you know, it will affect the matching. Okay, so if you have a contact lens that have very you know, a lot of patterns on it, you know, those kind of contact lens like the cat eyes or tiger eyes patterns, or contact lens with different color or very strong color, you know, where you change your eye from black to green or whatever, you know, this kind of thing, it will affect the performance, so it cannot be used with the device. But a normal clear contact lens shouldn't have any issues, shouldn't have any problem. Okay, only colored or patterned contact lenses. Okay. What was that? If someone that was oh, okay, that's the okay.
Alrighty.
Is there any more questions? Do I answer everybody?
I think we have all the we got all the questions so far. I think we have a few more minutes. If anyone has any final questions, we'll be happy to address those. So feel free to ask any more questions.
So if you have any question, also you can email us. We have worked on so many different projects, from small scale time attendance solution all the way to the huge or the biggest national ID project, as you know, the one in India, and we also work with many countries. So we can manage all the what you call it, kind of situation that we have encountered in many type of projects. Okay, so we have also dealt with quite a number of other solution provider and partners. So our devices also have been used by other providers that have their own iris recognition technology. That shows that our device is meets all the standards and is very flexible and versatile. So I think with the addition of IT100, we have the best iris solution currently on offer for all types of application. Okay, so if there's any more questions, you can email us directly, and will be very happy to discuss if there's any specific requirements or projects that you want to work on. So thank you very much for all your participation today.